Hey everybody, you made it. It's the final exam week, so I'm glad you've gotten through to this point of the semester. And this last assignment you have is just the culmination of everything you've already been working on so far throughout the semester. So we're going to talk a little bit in this video about the format of it and when it's expected. We'll look at a couple of resources that you have available to you, and we'll walk through a couple of the exam questions. So without any further ado, let's click on into Blackboard and take a look. So here you have the link to this video, obviously. And if you click on Final Exam, and then this will say Start Attempt if it's your first time. Since I've already been here, it tells me to continue my attempt. So right here, you can see that this is due by Tuesday, April 30th by 8 p.m. And so make sure that it's done by then. And Tuesday, April 30th is the last day to turn in anything in this class. If you've got a revision you've been sitting on, if you've got some work that you're missing that you need to get turned in, Tuesday, April 30th is the very last day because I have to have time enough to grade it. So anything other than the final exam can be revised if just because you've got that option. So take advantage of the opportunity. But after the 30th, it's done. Everything else is locked in at this point. If you have questions or anything about stuff you're working on, even from previously in the semester, send me an email. I'll be happy to reach out or happy to correspond with you. So going back here, so the assessment due date April 30th by 8 p.m. So when it comes to the final exam itself, this is exactly like the midterm, where I'm asking you to compose a 5-page paper, about a 1,500-word paper, where you are exploring a topic across 2 texts. So the best way to do that is to think about the central idea that you want to prove. Now the categories that I've given you, they're sort of big banner categories, so you want to find a specific way into that topic guided by the text you've chosen. And remember the pool illustration I gave you from a few weeks ago, where the introduction is kind of the diving off point, and then you swim in the body paragraphs, and then you exit the pool in the conclusion. It's a very tempting thing to really start to bring things together toward the end, where you're thinking about as you kind of your brain, as you've done all the work and you start to pull out these ideas together and you find that one idea. If that happens, move it to the front of the paper, because what happens if you leave it to the end is that you've kind of left me to make my own conclusions, and then we get to the conclusion where you say this is what you're supposed to think. If I've already made my own conclusions, then you might be arguing against me. It doesn't work like that. Academic writing follows the format of you telling me this is the point that I'm going to make, and then proving that point to me so that I know exactly why you've chosen the evidence that you've chosen to support your overall point. That's what you're guiding me through as you write this paper. And as you think about these ideas, I'm going to get back over here. You've got available to you They Say, I Say, Chapter 4, and you also have the SEAL Method PowerPoint. I will go ahead and tell you that if you get back to the end of this paper and you do not have a quote from the text, you are not going to do well, because as I've mentioned on several of your papers in recent weeks and then throughout the semester really, if you just summarize, if you just paraphrase, you kind of stay up here, and it doesn't provide that in-depth analysis that these assignments are calling for. But take the SEAL method and use it as a way to provide that in-depth analysis. If you want to talk about how Henry IV, Part 1 displays notions of honor and loyalty, show what you mean if you're talking about Hal's lack of honor towards his role as the prince. Show me. What is he doing? What is he saying? How does the text refer to him? Use it from the voice of his father, or from himself, or even from Falstaff, to prove that point that you want to make, because I think that's going to be the way to approach this argument and this kind of format of the essay, is to show rather than tell. Think about it like this. If you have your best friend and you want me to know about your best friend, what is the best way for me to do that? You can tell me about your best friend, or you can introduce me to your best friend. If you can get us together at a coffee shop or something like that, and then introduce me, then I get to hear your friend speak, and then you can explain the connections that we have. That's what this is like, is that quoting is introducing me to your best friend because you're showing me what the text says. Summary and paraphrase are just very general, as though the person's not there and you're just telling me about them. So include those specific details through quoting as you're constructing this essay. So we're going to go back here to the final exam, and we're going to click continue attempt here and then bring this up because I want to go over a couple of points about these questions. So you've got 4 questions to choose from. One that talks about terms of loyalty and honor. We've got a discussion of diversity. We've got this discussion of justice, and then Christianity and the Christian church. Remember that this exam is asking you to consider text from the second part of this semester, which is from the Renaissance forward. So we don't want to look backwards at earlier texts unless they're going to provide the framework for the 2 texts. Could you set something up with Sir Gawain and the Green Knight and then discuss the actual concept with Gulliver's Travels and Henry IV Part 1? Yes, you can do it that way. That's fine. But those 2 main texts have to come from the second part of the semester. Those questions are designed to help you do that. So find that specific point of comparison between them. Make that your focus, your thesis statement, your topic of the entire paragraph, and then construct the rest of the paper to prove that point. If that seems daunting, or if you have questions, then as always email me, cmoody@aum.edu. But I will tell you that you will do yourself a lot of favors if you email me earlier rather than later. So if I were in your position, I would spend today, Monday, and maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, kind of outlining my ideas and pulling them together. Then spend Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday actually drafting the paper, right? And if you break it up into those days, that's not that long. By Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so you think about Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you've still got 4 days to bring everything back together and to edit it to make sure that this thing is doing exactly what you want it to. That is the strongest way to approach this. If you wait to start idea gathering until Sunday, drafting on Monday and turning it on Tuesday, what you've done is you've really condensed that schedule, and you may not realize that you need my help until Tuesday when the essay is due. And I will do my best to try to get back to you as soon as possible on Tuesday, but that may not give me a ton of options. But if you email me on Tuesday of this week, on tomorrow or Wednesday, then you've got plenty of time. You're not waiting on me in order to pull things off, and I will respond to you just as quickly as I can. So just an encouragement to get started. That's why I'm going ahead and giving you this information as early as I can so that you can get through this assignment. Again, a reminder, if you want to turn in anything, a missing assignment, a revision, those are all due by Tuesday, April 30th. It's the same time as the exam. Those get emailed to me, cmoody@aum.edu. Those have to be in my inbox by the Tuesday on April 30th. If not, then your original grade will stand. So please reach out if you have questions or concerns. I'm happy to chat more with you. Good luck this week, and I'll talk with you soon.